Hey guys, afternoon. I just came in from outside, so really bizarre. My hair is flat on one side, so please don't get distracted by it now that I've brought it to your attention. But we're outside trying to redo the brakes on my car, the Toyota Matrix. It's like their weak spot is they go through brakes at an incredible rate. Anyway, that's what we're doing because it's a beautiful day outside. It's the end of November and I'm out in this and no gloves. It's beautiful. It's 10 degrees Celsius outside. So that's fabulous. Anyway, won't waste any more of your time. Today I'm going to be talking about the fitness plan because in these Facebook Lives this week and for the next little while, I'm going to be talking about things that you guys have asked about. You've suggested that they might be helpful for you. And I'm going to be challenging some of your thinking because I've been at this for a very long time. I've been learning. I've been continually learning as we go along. I have some expertise in this area. And one of the things that I do know about the fitness plan thinking is that it's probably one of the biggest obstacles that holds people back from getting started, making a progression to the next level, because somewhere someone has inferred or said to you that you don't know enough. And I got to tell you, you guys do. We have a community of well-educated, highly experienced, smart dog owners. You're not stupid. You have common sense. There's this saying that common sense isn't always common practice. And yeah, look at some of the videos that I post. To me, there's common sense isn't being exercised. But that doesn't mean that you're stupid. You're not. You guys are so far from it. You guys know already so much. So that's the first thing that I just want to say. The second thing is, here's a question for you. If I gave you the ideal fitness plan for your dog, how many of you, in all honesty, could stick to it for the next 3 years? Even the next year? Even the next 6 months? 3 months? 1 month? The answer is, if you're being really super honest with yourself, the answer is none of you. That is a very, very rare beast, rare human that commits to something from the get-go without being an expert in it, and even the experts, and do it day after day after day after day after day after day. Even when you talk to the vets, the rehab vets and so on, they will tell you that it is a very unique client that they can give a detailed step-by-step, procedure by procedure, method by method rehab plan, and that person goes and gets the equipment, blocks out this time, and does it exactly as the plan is laid out. So so you guys are like, okay, Debbie, what? What's the solution? Well, the solution is, and you hear me talk about it all the time, solution is whatever plan you choose has got to be one that fits into your life. What works for me is probably not going to work for you. I run my own business. My business right at this point in time is primarily focused into the wellness and canine conditioning piece of dogs. I want to do something with my dogs. I just go do it because I'm working. But you might be running a business. You might be a professional. You might be in a busy law firm. You might be an accountant. You might be a doctor. You might be a teacher that's, not got any time at all. You might be a parent with young children. I honestly don't know. But what works for me is not going to work for you. So you have to figure out what does. Second thing is, it's got to fit your dogs. If you're given a plan that says you need to do XXX with XXX as a motivator, and your dog doesn't work for those things, or it's not the right time for your dogs to do it. If someone says to you, you're going to do, in your plan, I want you to do, let's say 3 sequences of 8 power-ups, that's an advanced thing, but it's part of the building of power rear end muscles. Yesterday we talked about the rear end. So power up is a peanut stood up on its end. Dog is sitting in front of it, powers up so the front figure on the top goes right back down. If someone says to you, I want you to do that with your dog first thing in the morning, and I want you to do it, before dinner. Well, what if you don't do breakfast and you just get up in the morning and you just get going? That wouldn't work, would it? And what if that's later on in the evening around dinner time, your dog's already dialing it down? So here's a funny story. Way back when, in my early days, in one of the people on the group that we always went to trials together with, and when there weren't a lot of agility trials around, so the ones that went very, very long. They started at 6 in the morning, ran to 11 o'clock at night. And I remember her specifically saying, and she wasn't a late night person, and she wasn't an early morning person, and she was running this one of her events was at 10:30 at night. And that's okay for me, as is 5 o'clock in the morning. 2 in the afternoon, not my good time. But she said, note to self, do not enter trials or runs when the dog is normally asleep. It's a great lesson, don't you think? And that applies to fitness plan. So here's another thing to think about is, why are we getting hung up on this fitness plan? Well, in my opinion, I think it's coming from the people whose business it is to create fitness plans. Those people who are doing canine conditioning, FitPaws, TotoFit, whatever you want to call it, whose background is rehab, that's rehabilitation, veterinary care, or the combination of those two. Because that's what they need to do legally. In order to provide legal diagnostic solutions, they have got to do that. Now, you guys, if you've watched my webinar, whether it was called a number of different things, in there, I have a slide that says canine conditioning is more art than science. And I share that we do a disservice to you by consistently telling you that it's science. Yeah, there's basics in anatomy and knowing the good stuff and knowing what's the right way and the wrong way to do things. But a fitness plan is not an essential for every single person that wants to get into the area of what I call indoor exercise. And indoor exercise can be the treadmill, it can be FitPaws, canine conditioning, it can be tricks and games that are being done at home with just stuff that you have around. Exercise that's being done indoors, not formal agility type things, but exercise that's done for the purpose of improving the wellness and the longevity of your dog, indoor exercise. And I think you have to remember that canine conditioning has its roots with the people who start in rehabilitation. Debbie Torraca, formerly Debbie Gross Saunders, or any combination of those names, of TotoFit. She is where most of us have been doing this for more than like 9, 10 years. She is where we started with her get on the ball, get on her ball too. Hey, Monica, how are you? So that's really the key, is you have to remember that it has its roots there in the big blue Pezzy egg. That's where they started. So it makes sense that there is an undercurrent of science, but that's what makes it powerful. What makes it powerful is really using it as an art. And that's why I kind of preach the positions, because for me, that's the art. The art is those fine-tuned little feather moments to make it ideal. And that doesn't come with a fitness plan. You can do that. You can do one exercise and do it over and over again and make it awesome. Hey, I'm just gonna chat here. See, typing while I'm talking. And I can't spell. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful outside. Perfect day to do some work on the deck out there. So that's the one thing, is you have to remember that that's where it comes from. Now, the other thing to remember is I want you guys, and you'll see me guys, I always refer to the human side of it. How many of you go to the gym? You know, even if it's just a few of you. How many of you know people who go to the gym? And how many of those millions and millions and millions of people that go to the gym are actually following a quote-unquote fitness plan? They're not. They get results, they're inspired, they're motivated, and when they need guidance, they can go and ask. And if they don't, they continue. As long as they're seeing results and they're not hurting themselves, they're not creating injuries, they're progressing. That's what indoor exercise and canine conditioning is all about. So I wanted just to share that, just so that you guys don't get hung up on this fitness plan thing. There's a basic guideline. We share that in the online membership of how to do the basic guideline. There's all sorts of guidelines. You stay smart. You don't need a fitness plan. Is it an option? Sure. You want to go spend your money and get somebody to do a fitness plan and see what they say? Sure. It's lots of information. But it's not an essential. It's literally something that holds you guys back from making that next step, because you just have to be smart. You guys are smart. Your dogs are smart. It's common sense. And sticking to the 4 core principles of great indoor exercise, of great canine conditioning. You do that, you're ready to go. So with that, I will see you again. I'll be again tomorrow. I got to get back outside and get those breaks done. Otherwise, I'll be adding some more walking into my routine today. So, see you guys later. Bye.